Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav again. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. A change in the management of a corporate in order to protect the interests of its shareholders, the government, the revenue, the employees, the creditors and the lenders is a rarity. But it is needed where the management of a company is fraudulent, it has been engaging in financial frauds and corporate mismanagement, and at that point of time, in order to protect the interests of the public at large, there needs to be a change in its management. The last that we witnessed something like this was in the case of Satyam Computers. You will recall that its promoter, Mr. Ramalingam Raju, confessed in a long letter to its directors, which was soon made public, that he had engaged in rampant financial frauds, misrepresentation and manipulation of the books of accounts of Satyam. It was very clear that there had been a gigantic corporate fraud and mismanagement in the case of Satyam. As soon as this information was made public, the government then got into action. Its board of directors was disbanded immediately. A new chairman of board of directors and a new board was appointed. The chairman was Mr. Deepak Parekh, and after the initial taking charge of the company was handed over to the Mahindra Group. It helped to salvage the organization. It helped to protect the jobs of the employees. It helped to ensure that the revenue and the lenders were not completely cheated. And it was a successful experiment. It was also successful from the angle that it helped to convict Mr. Raju, the auditors and various other key employees of Satyam who are presently in jail facing punishment for their misdeeds. So, the government acted on time as soon as it came to know of it. The question is, the government needs to come to know of it. In the case of Satyam, it was a rarity. The promoter confessed to his crimes. How often does a fraudulent promoter, a criminal management confess to the malpractices that they engaged in while managing a company? We have not seen any other case. Take the case of IL&FS. IL&FS has been incurring losses consistently since 2012, but it built a very rosy and different picture. While there were losses, it showed profits. It kept building a facade of being a kind of a government organization. It kept borrowing money. It hoodwinked its rating agencies who willingly gave it a AAA credit rating, and it kept borrowing money only to keep itself afloat. And it kept manipulating its books of accounts thanks to the collusion of its own auditors, its negligence or maybe collusion of its independent directors and rating agencies, by virtue of which it showed a very rosy picture which there never was. IL&FS should have had a change of management long ago, but the fact was never known in the public. The government never came to know of it, because as long as the group kept borrowing money, laundering it, resulting in a personal enrichment of the directors of the company, as long as it kept doing that, the show went on. And the point of time when they could not raise any further additional loans, it collapsed like a pack of cards. IL&FS was a classic case where the truth was hidden by all those who were in charge of its affairs, whether it was the promoters, the directors, the auditors, the rating agencies and the independent directors. And it was successfully concealed. The truth was successfully concealed for many years. Thus, the government could not move in. But when the default happened, when it became public that IL&FS is a pack of cards, when the first preliminary findings of the investigation agencies like SFIO, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Reserve Bank of India came out in the open, the government did move in. It immediately approached the NCLT. Its directors were disbanded immediately. A new team of directors was appointed under the chairmanship of Mr. Uday Kotak, and the government, a newly appointed team, took charge of the affairs. The government sought to revive IL&FS or to at least see how to resolve this debt crisis, because if this debt crisis was not resolved, there was an imminent danger of a systemic collapse. In fact, the entire NBFC sector did get impacted by this payment default of IL&FS. It is very unlikely, according to us, that the IL&FS group will get revived. It has been a case of a giant fraud. And If the revival does not happen, it is very clear that the lenders are going to incur huge losses. The new board is trying to examine how to resolve the payment crisis, and the only way out is to sell assets and sell the subsidiaries of the group. And even if that is done successfully, in a best case scenario, it is estimated that the lenders of IL&FS will get just about 40% of their dues. 60% is going to be a haircut, a complete loss to the lenders. But if you look at IL&FS also, the government did move in as soon as it came to know of the truth, which had been so carefully concealed by the entire system that had managed IL&FS for all these years. The point is that the government needs to move in on time. We see something like this brewing in the case of Jet Airways. Jet Airways has been incurring losses year after year. In the last 10 years, it is said that they have made profits only for 2 years. Its quarterly losses have been mounting. Its debts have been mounting. Today, it owes over 8,200 crores to its lenders, and it has defaulted on its payment of its bank dues. The company has been delaying payment of salaries, payments to vendors, payments to lessors. There are allegations of siphoning of funds by the company management. There are very clear gross allegations by an insider that there has been mismanagement, financial misconduct and corporate malpractices. The accounts of Jet Airways are already under a forensic audit by an auditor appointed by State Bank of India. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs is also examining its books of accounts. And if it is found that the state of affairs is as bad as is being now conjectured, it is time for a change of management. To us, the state of affairs is pretty out in the open. A change of management of Jet Airways is imminent. We don't think you need to wait for all those reports to come. And now, with the present default in payment of bank loans by Jet Airways, it is very easy for the bankers to change the management. The bankers have a right to convert their debt into equity. By doing that, they would become the majority owners of Jet perhaps, and they would be able to disband the present board of directors led by its promoter Mr. Naresh Goyal, against whom also a whistleblower has made allegations of siphoning of funds. If Jet has to be salvaged, if it is to be ensured that the airline is not grounded, now is the time to change the management of Jet. And going by the present regulations of the Reserve Bank of India, it is time. It is within the powers of the banks to change the management of Jet Airways for the betterment of the very airline industry, as well as to protect the interests of the shareholders, the employees, the lessors, the lenders and the creditors, who will all suffer if a timely action of change of management of Jet Airways is not undertaken. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.